You've probably heard it 100 times. Oatmeal is the perfect breakfast. Heart healthy, full of fiber, great for energy. But here's the twist. Eating oatmeal the wrong way could be secretly draining your energy, spiking your blood sugar, and even slowing your metabolism after 60. Most people mean well. They skip the bacon, grab the oats, and unknowingly fall into traps that leave them bloated, foggy, and hungry by 10 a.m. In this video, we're revealing the 10 most common oatmeal mistakes, and more importantly, how to fix them. You'll learn how to turn your cozy bowl of oats into a powerhouse for energy, digestion, and long-term health. Stick around. Your mornings are about to get a major upgrade. And while you're watching, tell us, which of these mistakes surprised you most? Oatmeal, not automatically healthy. Let's face it, oatmeal has a stellar rep. It's the go-to breakfast for health-conscious folks everywhere, full of magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants, right? But here's the part nobody talks about. Oatmeal is only healthy if you prepare it the right way. And most people don't. What starts as a smart choice can turn into a sugar bomb or a carb overload without even realizing it. Ever feel wide awake after breakfast only to crash an hour later with brain fog, cravings, and low energy? That's your bowl of oatmeal backfiring. When it's made wrong, too sweet, too plain, or lacking protein, it can spike your blood sugar and leave you riding a roller coaster all morning. And over time, those blood sugar spikes can contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, and that stubborn belly fat that just won't budge. Oatmeal should be your ally, not the reason you're yawning at your desk by 10 a.m. So how do you fix it? Think of oatmeal not as a finished dish, but as a foundation. On its own, it's just a bowl of warm carbs. But with the right toppings, it transforms into a true powerhouse. First, add protein. This is non-negotiable. Stir in some Greek yogurt, chia seeds, or even a scoop of protein powder. It balances your blood sugar and keeps you full longer. Next, add healthy fats. Think nut butters, flax seeds, or a few crushed walnuts. These help slow digestion and give you that lasting energy. Want it sweet? Skip the brown sugar or flavored syrups and use ripe banana slices, fresh berries, or a dash of cinnamon to naturally bring out flavor without sending your insulin levels into overdrive. And here's a cooking tip. Don't start with milk. Many people think cooking oats in dairy makes it creamier, but it often turns gummy and harder to digest. Instead, cook your oats in filtered water, then stir in your milk of choice, almond, oat, or dairy at the end. The texture is better, and it's gentler on your stomach. At the end of the day, oatmeal isn't magic. It's a blank canvas, but when you treat it right, it becomes a delicious, functional meal that supports your metabolism, reduces cravings, and keeps your energy steady till lunch. So tomorrow morning, don't just make oatmeal. Build it like your body depends on it. Because honestly, it kind of does. Skipping the salt. The tiny step that changes everything. One of the most overlooked steps in making oatmeal, adding salt. So many people skip it, thinking, I'm eating healthy, why add salt? But this tiny choice can quietly ruin the flavor of your entire breakfast. Without that pinch of salt, oatmeal tastes flat, like damp paper. Even with fruit or fancy toppings, something always feels off. And what do we do when food tastes bland? We reach for sugar. More honey, more maple syrup, maybe even brown sugar just to save it. That fix feels good for a minute, but it sets off a dangerous cycle. Blood sugar spikes, energy crashes, and a craving loop that leads to overeating later in the day. All because the base was missing flavor. Over time, relying on sugar to rescue your oatmeal can dull your natural taste for subtle sweetness. It's like trying to enjoy a symphony when all you hear is the bass drum. Loud, obvious, and eventually exhausting. Add a small pinch of salt at the start of cooking, not after. Why? When salt dissolves in the cooking liquid, it's absorbed into every grain of oat, bringing out their naturally nutty, cozy flavor. It doesn't make the oatmeal salty. It makes it alive. That pinch, just 1/8 teaspoon per half cup of dry oats, is the difference between healthy but boring. And wow, I didn't even need to sweeten this. Even your toppings get a boost. Blueberries taste brighter. Almond butter feels richer. Cinnamon feels warmer. Think of salt like the lighting in a movie. When it's done right, you don't even notice it, but it makes everything look better. And if you're concerned about sodium, don't be. That tiny pinch contains far less salt than a slice of bread or a handful of crackers. In fact, by adding salt up front, you're less likely to dump in sugar later, which is the real metabolic enemy. So, tomorrow, when you're stirring your oats, take 2 seconds to reach for the salt. It's the smallest act of flavor, and one of the smallest. 3. Turning oatmeal into dessert. A sweet habit that backfires. It's a common scene. Your bowl's looking bland, so you reach for the maple syrup, a sprinkle of brown sugar, maybe a splash of vanilla creamer. Just a little, right? But here's the trap. Those sweet extras add up fast. And before you know it, your healthy breakfast just became dessert in disguise. What starts as a light touch of sugar can send your blood glucose skyrocketing. You feel a quick burst of energy, but then comes the crash. Fatigue, irritability, and a hunger that hits like a freight train mid-morning. That's not just a mood dip, it's your body scrambling to correct the sugar spike. Repeat this pattern often, and it increases your risk of insulin resistance, belly fat storage, and even pre-diabetes. It's sneaky, too, because sugar in oatmeal often hides under a healthy label. Honey, coconut sugar, agave, they're natural, sure, but they still hit your bloodstream fast. It's like dressing your oats up in a candy costume. Shift your mindset from how sweet can I make this to how can I enhance flavor without messing up my blood sugar. Nature has your back. Slice up a ripe banana. It brings natural creaminess and a mellow sweetness that pairs perfectly with oats. Add a handful of fresh or frozen berries for a pop of tart sweet brightness. Or sprinkle in warm cinnamon or nutmeg, spices that trick your taste buds into thinking you're eating something indulgent. If you still want a hint of indulgence, try a tiny drizzle of raw honey or maple syrup, but only after you've built the rest of your bowl around fiber, fat, and protein. That way, the sugar is slowed down by everything else in the mix, and it won't slam your system. Think of it this way. You wouldn't start your day with cake or candy, so don't let your oats pretend to be one. When you dress your bowl like a smart, balanced meal instead of a dessert, your body stays full, your energy stays steady, and your cravings get quieter. Next time you reach for that sugar jar, pause and ask, am I feeding my body or just my sweet tooth? Keep your portions honest, because more isn't always better. Oatmeal has a health halo, so it's easy to go overboard. You scoop a little extra, just in case, pile on the toppings, and before you know it, you've created a mountain of oats, swimming in almond butter, raisins, and honey. The logic? It's healthy, so more must be better. But your stomach and metabolism don't see it that way. Overeating oatmeal can sneak up on you. A single serving of dry oats, just half cup, roughly doubles when cooked. Add in calorie-dense toppings, and you've unintentionally built a breakfast that's heavier than a cheeseburger. The result? You feel bloated, overly full, maybe even a little sleepy. Digestive sluggishness sets in. Your energy dips, and instead of feeling fueled, you're left dragging your feet before lunchtime. Worse, the calorie overload, especially from carbs and sugars, can spike your blood sugar, pushing your body into fat storage mode. Start with half cup of dry oats. That's the sweet spot. It gives you a hearty, satisfying base without overwhelming your system. Then build around it with thoughtful toppings. Add fiber and sweetness with a small handful of blueberries or half a banana. Bring in protein with a dollop of Greek yogurt, chia seeds, or a boiled egg on the side. Top with healthy fats like a teaspoon of peanut butter or a few chopped walnuts. Picture it this way. Oatmeal is like packing a suitcase for a weekend trip. Just because you can cram in more doesn't mean you should. Too much weighs you down. But when you pack smart, just what you need, You feel light, prepared, and ready for the day. So the next time you're tempted to fill that bowl to the brim, pause. Portion isn't about restriction, it's about precision. Give your body what it needs, not what your eyes crave. The result? Energy that lasts, digestion that hums, and a body that says, thank you. Watch out for pre-packaged healthy oats, the sneaky sugar trap. You're in a rush. You want something quick. And that apple cinnamon instant oatmeal packet looks like a healthy no-brainer. It even says heart healthy or low fat on the front. Sounds like a win, right? Not so fast. The truth is, many flavored instant oat packets are more like dessert than breakfast. Hidden inside those tiny pouches are 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar, sometimes more. That's the same as eating a glazed donut, except it's masked by oats and a wholesome label. These sugars hit fast, spike your blood glucose, and leave you with a false burst of energy, followed by an inevitable crash. Over time, this routine can contribute to fatigue, weight gain, especially around the belly, and increased insulin resistance. And it's not just the sugar. These packets often come with artificial flavors, preservatives, and hydrogenated oils, a whole cocktail of ingredients your body doesn't need. So while the packaging screams healthy, your body reads it as metabolic stress. So what's the smarter move? Stick with plain rolled oats or steel-cut oats. They take a few more minutes to prepare, but they give you full control over what goes into your bowl. Want flavor? You don't need a chemistry set. Just add fresh fruit like chopped apples or berries, spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or vanilla extract, texture from chopped almonds, pumpkin seeds, or shredded coconut, craving creaminess. Stir in almond milk or a spoonful of Greek yogurt. Need sweetness? Use half a mashed banana. It'll melt into the oats and give you that natural mellow flavor without the sugar rush. Think of it like this. Pre-flavored oats are like pre-written scripts. They save time, but they don't reflect your real story. When you build your own bowl, you get to decide the plot, the characters, and the ending. And best of all, you walk away from breakfast feeling clear-headed, light, and in control. Next time you see a quick and healthy oat packet, flip it over and read the fine print. If it sounds like a snack cake with a spoon, it probably is. Skip the shortcut and fuel your morning your way. Don't forget the protein, because oats alone can't carry the load. Oatmeal might feel like the full package, worn, filling, wholesome. But here's where many people slip up. They treat oats like a standalone superstar. In reality, oatmeal without protein is like a house built on sand. It looks fine at first, but give it a couple hours and it crumbles. What actually happens? Without protein to anchor your meal, that cozy bowl of oats turns into a fast-burning fuel. Your blood sugar climbs quickly, giving you that feel-good energy spike, then crashes just as fast, leaving you foggy, snacky, and maybe even irritable. Worse, over time, skipping protein can chip away at your muscle mass. And muscle isn't just about strength. It's tied to metabolism, balance, and how gracefully we age. As the years go by, preserving muscle becomes less about vanity and more about mobility, stability, and staying independent. The good news? Fixing this is super doable, and it makes your oatmeal taste even better. Here's how to add protein without overthinking it. Greek yogurt. Stir in a big spoonful post-cooking for a tangy, creamy finish and a serious protein punch. Nut butters, almond, peanut, or cashew. Just 1 tablespoon melts into warm oats and adds both protein and healthy fat. Boiled or poached egg, on the side or sliced right in. It's a classic pairing that brings satiety. Chia or hemp seeds, a sprinkle goes a long way, adding plant-based protein and a satisfying crunch. Collagen peptides or protein powder. Ideal if you're short on time. Just stir in after cooking and enjoy a flavor boost too. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Just one simple add-on can take your oats from a quick carb fix to a balanced, long-burning meal. So tomorrow morning, before you hit start on the coffee maker or scroll through your emails, ask your oats one question. Who's your backup? Because when oats are the cozy blanket, protein is the strong frame underneath. Together, they're the breakfast duo that carries you farther than carbs alone ever could. 7. Be smart with liquids. Don't let milk muck it up. Most of us think, hey, cooking oats in milk must make them creamier, right? It sounds like a cozy shortcut. Oats plus milk equals rich, velvety perfection. But here's what really happens when you toss everything in one pot. You get clumpy, gluey oats that feel more like paste than porridge. Why? Because milk contains proteins that react with the starches in oats when boiled. That reaction thickens the texture too quickly and unevenly, leaving you with a bowl that's heavy, overly sticky, and surprisingly hard to digest. The result? Bloating, gas, and a sluggish gut, especially if you're sensitive to dairy or eating too fast before work. On top of that, cooking milk at high heat can degrade some of its nutrients, especially the more delicate ones like certain B vitamins. So in trying to make your oatmeal creamier, you might actually be draining it of flavor and nutrition. So what's the smarter move? Flip the process. Cook your oats in water first. Let them simmer gently until they reach that soft, pillowy texture. Once they're fully cooked, then stir in your milk of choice, whether that's almond, oat, soy, or dairy. This preserves nutrients, keeps the oats light, and gives you that creamy finish you were craving, without the gluey mess. Want it extra rich? Stir in a splash of coconut milk or a teaspoon of nut butter once it's off the heat. You'll get a smooth, silky texture that feels indulgent but still supports your digestion. Think of your oatmeal like a spa treatment for your stomach. You wouldn't rush in with harsh scrubs before warming up, right? Give your oats the same gentle treatment. Slow cook in water, finish with milk, and let every bite feel like self-care. Don't let milk steal the show too early. Let it finish the dish like a pro. The overnight secret. Let your oats work while you sleep. Most people cook oats on the stovetop or microwave and call it a day. But soaking your oats overnight, that's the quiet upgrade your body didn't know it needed. This simple, often skipped step turns your oats from just okay into something smoother, more nourishing, and surprisingly more satisfying. Here's why it matters. Oats naturally contain something called phytic acid, a compound that binds to minerals like iron, zinc, and calcium, making them harder for your body to absorb. When you skip the soak, you're unknowingly locking away nutrients your body needs. On top of that, dry oats that are quickly cooked can be tougher to digest, especially for folks who deal with bloating, gas, or that post-breakfast heavy gut feeling. And if you're over 50, digestion tends to slow down naturally, so the way you prep your food matters even more. Let time do the work for you. Soak your oats in water, milk, or plant-based milk overnight. No stove, no stress. In the morning, you'll wake up to oats that are soft, creamy, and ready to eat cold or warmed up. Add-ins like chia seeds, cinnamon, or mashed banana work great in overnight oats and develop more flavor as they sit. Want texture? Toss in nuts or fresh fruit in the morning. Prefer warmth? A quick heat-up turns it into the coziest 5-minute breakfast you've ever made. Soaking oats breaks down starches and begins the digestion process before you even take a bite, like giving your stomach a head start. The result? A smoother ride for your gut and more nutrient absorption with less digestive drama. Think of overnight oats as your personal breakfast assistant, quietly prepping while you sleep so your morning starts smoother. Once you try it, your stovetop might start gathering dust. 9. Don't undercook or overcook. Texture isn't just a preference, it's a health choice. We've all been there, either rushing breakfast and pulling the oats off the heat too soon, or forgetting them entirely and ending up with a sticky, overcooked mess. But when it comes to oatmeal, cooking time isn't just about texture. It affects how your body processes the entire meal. Let's start with undercooked oats. They may still look edible, but they're often chewy, gritty, and harder for your body to break down. That means your gut has to work overtime, which can cause bloating, gas, or a heavy feeling that sticks with you all morning. On the flip side, overcooked oats turn into a mushy, lifeless paste that digests way too quickly. The result? A fleeting sense of fullness, followed by a blood sugar crash and the urge to snack again just an hour later. In both cases, you're missing the point of oatmeal: steady energy, comfortable digestion. and lasting satisfaction. You want your oats to be soft, smooth, but still have a little bite. Think creamy, not gooey. Here's how to hit that sweet spot. Simmer gently on the stovetop, stirring occasionally, until the oats absorb most of the liquid but haven't lost their shape. If microwaving, add extra water or milk and stir halfway through to avoid dry clumps. Resist the urge to rush or walk away. Oats only need 5 to 10 minutes, but they deserve your attention. If you're a fan of overnight oats, the same rule applies. Give them enough soaking time, 6 to 8 hours, and don't overload with liquids that turn the mixture soupy. Think of it like pasta. Al dente is the goal. You want your oats to feel like breakfast, not baby food or uncooked grains. Because the right texture isn't just a pleasure for your palate, it's a signal that your meal is working with your body, not against it. Cooking oatmeal isn't just a routine. It's a small daily ritual that sets the tone for how you feel, think, and move through your morning. Aim for that perfect texture, and your body won't just feel full, it'll feel taken care of. Because when breakfast is built right, everything else flows a little smoother. 10. Oatmeal is not a complete diet. Great start, but not the whole story. Oatmeal is often praised as a near-perfect breakfast, and yes, it packs fiber, complex carbs, and some key minerals. But here's where many people misstep. They eat it every morning, the same exact way, thinking it alone can carry their nutritional load. It's comforting, easy, and feels healthy, but it's not the full picture. Over time, relying solely on oatmeal can lead to quiet deficiencies. Why? Because oats lack complete proteins, healthy fats, vitamin B12, iron from animal sources, and omega-3s, all critical for brain function, energy, and muscle preservation, especially as we age. Without these nutrients in your rotation, you might start feeling sluggish, foggy, or even notice your hair and nails getting weaker. Your metabolism could slow, and you may wonder why your healthy habits aren't translating to results. See oatmeal as a strong foundation, not the whole house. Keep it in your routine, but build variety around it. Here's how to round out the day. Add eggs to your breakfast or lunch, packed with protein and B12. Toss in healthy fats like avocado or olive oil with your salads or grain bowls. Include fatty fish like salmon 2 to 3 times per week for brain-loving omega-3s. Snack smart with nuts, seeds, or even a few slices of cheese for protein balance. Rotate fruits and veggies to cover a broader range of antioxidants and vitamins. Oats are an amazing start, but they were never meant to do all the heavy lifting alone. Think of them like the dependable baseline in a song. Steady, grounding, but not enough without melody, rhythm, and harmony to complete the track. So yes, enjoy that warm, cozy bowl of oatmeal, but let it be part of a colorful, well-rounded playlist of foods that work together to support your strength, clarity, and longevity. Because health isn't built on one food, it's built on rhythm, balance, and variety.